Welcome to this Badminton Europe podcast. My name is Rasmus Bæk and I have two siblings on board on the show today. Sam and Chloe Magee, welcome.
Thank you.
Guys, been following you for quite some times now. There's one big question popping up in my mind, that's that Olympic race. Chloe, how do you guys see the chances actually making it to Tokyo?
I think it's tough. Of course, there's a lot of pairs looking for those last couple of spots, and I think we've got as good a chance as maybe a couple of others, but there's a long way to go. There's a lot of results that Sam and myself need a couple more results, and there's other pairs that are capable of getting quite big results. So I can't really say for sure right now how it is, but we're just going to keep playing and enjoying our badminton and let the results hopefully take care of themselves.
Sam, how is it to go with that uncertainty all the time, traveling the world? You go Asia, you go Europe, you go back Asia, and you actually don't know if you make it or not.
Yeah, it's extremely hard. I think this year we're playing a lot of tournaments. We're following all the top tournaments because we can make the main draw, and that's where we need to try and win some rounds. And then you have to go back to Europe and play maybe some of the 100s as well. So it's a lot of tournaments. And of course, it is hard when you never know if there's going to be a prize at the end. So we just have to keep going. I think a lot of pairs are playing really well. A lot of European pairs have really stepped up. The French and the Germans, the Dutch, they're all playing very well, as well as the English, of course. So we just have to focus on ourselves, and hopefully we can get some big results.
Focusing on yourself, Chloe, but I imagine you also have an eye on the ranking and see how are the other guys doing, because it's not all up to you. If they fail, it might also give you better chances.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think anyone can say they're not looking at the ranking, but I try not to as much as possible, because it just, it plays on your mind and you're thinking about the wrong things. So yeah, I just try and focus on training and, doing our best every day, and then coming to the tournaments and, trying to get out big performances, and, competing with the best in the world is where we want to be anyway. So, Tokyo is just, it's another step.
Sam, not that far back, we saw you guys win that European medal in Denmark. We have seen you been doing very well in the European Championships and the European Games. But it seems like that last step to be like the consistent pair, we can actually believe in making it to semifinals every time. It seems like it's missing. Why?
Yeah, I think it's been the story of our career. We always play well for 1-2 tournaments, and then the level goes down. I'm not really sure exactly what we can put our finger on. We're definitely pushing ourselves in training. Maybe it is that lack of a training group where there's maybe not a pair better than us or close to us as a mixed pair. Maybe it's that the level comes up and down, and it's younger players we're training with. So I think it's something we need to identify at this stage of our career. I think we've been doing it for years, playing well, then playing bad. So just something we need to try and figure out, and hopefully these last couple of months now we can maybe get some more consistency.
So how is it to be that, not only in mixed, actually also for you previously as the number one women's single, nothing like chasing you that hard? How is it to be that one that we are the best ones? We might need some assistance from somewhere, from somehow, to actually develop the way we want.
Yeah, I think you can look at it two ways. You're the best, and obviously these opportunities like the Olympic spots, you're not fighting with someone in your country. But then the other side of it is, I would love to have another pair that we can play against every day, that we can train with, someone that's pushing you that bit more. As Sam said, we've got good young guys training, but sometimes you need that bit more, that better sparring, that more experience, that someone, that can step up every day in training. And I think that kind of is why our level fluctuates so much, because, we do get away with things in training that we're not going to get away with against the best players in the world. So it is tough, and it's something that, if we're to bring in sparring players that we do try to do, it's expensive, and, we can have them for a certain length of time, and then we actually do see our level come up, and then obviously we can't have them all year round. So it's tough. I mean, I always would like to be a part of a big centre just to see, what is every day going in and playing against 6 or 7 different pairs. I always think that would be such a great opportunity to have that. But then, there is the other side of it when it comes to these years like the Olympic race. Like, we don't have anybody challenging us in Ireland, but then we're really pushing for that, last spot in the Olympic race. So I think there's definitely two sides to it, but I really think it would benefit being with 1 or 2 more pairs in your country. I know small countries, they all have the same problems, but that definitely would help our level be more consistent.
Does it make like jealous on the Danes, English, French, Germans?
Yeah, for sure. I think once they step into their centre, they've got good sparring, good training, and they're pushing each other every day. Of course, the other side for them is extremely tough. They're competing against each other, traveling with each other. Maybe the English, for example, 2 pairs close in the rankings. That's also not hard, but I would probably rather the other side where you have pairs pushing you and maybe beating you every day. So there's always 2 ways to look at everything.
I have a sister myself. I have a brother myself. You know where this is going. Chloe working with Sam every day, traveling the world with Sam every day. How is it?
Yeah, it can be quite tough. I would love to have a euro for every time I get asked this question.
Yes, I know. You would
But,
be so rich, right?
yeah,
Then you could fund that sparring partner.
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all we're family, and it is tough, playing with your brother, because you go home, you're together, you're training, you're together, you're traveling, you're together, and it is tough. But yeah, I think it's just over the years we've got used to kind of figuring out how to have that mutual respect for each other, and I think that's important when you're playing with family, because you can say things that maybe you can't say to other people. And yeah, there is times that we want to kill each other, but I think Sam brings the best out of me, and I really enjoy playing with Sam. All the highs that we've had, to have that with your brother is also very special. So yeah, again, there's definitely 2 sides to that, but yeah, I think it's good. I enjoy it.
But winning that medal with your sister, Sam, how was that? I'm talking about the European medal, but now they also do.
Yeah, I think the first medal was the most. It was the nicest feeling, because if someone would have said Ireland's going to get a European medal in badminton a couple of years ago, no one would have just laughed maybe. So the first one was really nice, and the one with Chloe was all very special. But just to win a European medal was something I never even thought in my career that we could do. And then, of course, one thing leads to another, and European Games we're able to do it again. And I think that maybe stemmed from we had the belief from the first time. But yeah, of course, it is extra special when you win it with family. But I wouldn't mind. I just love to have a European medal with family or not.
But I'm just thinking, Chloe, that I understand that it can be tough. I love my sister, I love my brother, no doubt about that. But I really do not want to work with them. And to be honest, you're not only working with one brother.
Yeah.
You even have your other brother, or one of the other, because you're actually quite a lot of siblings, other brothers and sisters. You're actually also working with one of your brothers as a coach. That on top of being doubles partner with your brother, can that make a lot of struggles actually?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. I think it kind of takes away your whole sister-brother thing. When we're outside of badminton, I would say Sam and myself spend very little time together. And I think that's important, because when you're on top of each other all the time, playing together, training together, it does take away that kind of whole family thing, because, when you're outside of badminton, you have to kind of clear your mind, and if you're with the same people all the time, then it does lead to you just fighting over the smallest things, and it might not even be about badminton. So it definitely takes away that, and I think after we finish our career, that'll be a whole different side to it. But yeah, you have to be, as I said, I think the respect is the most important thing. If you have the respect for each other, you can keep going and keep doing it. But I think if you lose that, then yeah, it's tricky.
Sam, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's hard that we, all the time we're together. If you look at the other teams traveling, they have maybe 20 people going to Asia, or me and Chloe just have each other. So it's that all the time. There's always pluses and minuses for sure. I think we have a good close relationship as when we're playing together, and I think, as Chloe said, the respect's important. I think that has maybe brought us to a level maybe more than we would have went to if we were just people training. Of course, Dan's now coaching in Ireland at the minute. We don't have a coach, so he's kind of stepping in that role, and it's a hard year when it's Olympics. There's so much planning and training, and even not training because you're traveling away, and then organising things. So he's also in that role now. But I think overall, I think it's a good thing. We have a good respect, and it seems to work.
Sam, would you prefer not playing with Chloe and then have more off-court time with her?
I honestly think if we didn't play together, we have our own friends. I don't think we'd be spending much time. Of course, as a family, we have family and family time at weekends when we can, and we'd probably come together for that. But I don't think we'd be going to the cinema with each other or going for food with each other. I think we have our own friends and stuff like that. So I don't think our badminton sacrifices that side of it.
So that's no issue.
No issue.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I would say it was a shame if it was an issue. But Chloe, when I look at you and what you have been achieving, not only with Sam, but also in the big perspective, Ireland might never have had such a performing women's singles before. Might not actually get it in a very, very long time. I just went to Ireland a few weeks ago and spoke to some people who also know you and the history of yours. And they say, I don't know if she's going to quit soon, but there will for sure be a gap. So first of all, what do you think you leave behind the day you choose to call it a day?
It's a tough question. Actually, I've never ever thought about that. But yeah, I think, as you said, I've played lady singles for Ireland for a long time. I went to 3 Olympic Games, which was obviously a big highlight for me. And then I chose after Rio to leave the singles behind and try and focus fully on mixed. I needed a new challenge. I needed a new goal, and I felt that I could be more higher in the world in mixed than I ever could have been in lady singles, and it kind of proved right. But when I finish, I think I would just like to be remembered for someone that's competed well and maybe pushed the world's best. Obviously the medals are huge. Like it means a lot to have won 2 European medals, and to do it with Sam was brilliant. But I would like to be remembered as someone that's really tried to challenge the best in the world, and that's kind of where I would like to leave my career. And someone that's pushed Irish badminton to the next level, and it's kind of showing that we can achieve European medals. As Sam said before, people would have looked at Ireland and said they would never achieve a European medal coming from a small country, a very small centre with a very limited budget. But yet we've really taken badminton in Ireland to the next level and showing that we can compete with the best in Europe, and why not? And that is something that I would like to be remembered as someone that's proved that and taken the level in badminton in Ireland to another level, and showing the kids that we can do it. There's no reason why we can't do it.
We're recording this in the early autumn of 2019. If I turn the clock a year ahead from now, will I still be able to invite you as an active badminton player for podcast recording?
That's another tough question. I'm not sure. I've thought about where I want my career to end, and it's obviously at the minute the big focus is on competing at these tournaments, trying to get the Olympic points, and so that's where my focus is at the minute. And I think come April, whether we're in or out, will be a big factor in where my career lies.
And it's also going to affect you, Sam. I assume whenever she make this choice, and what she chooses. What are you thinking about it all?
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for me if Chloe decides to stop. I think it's tough because the way badminton is now, you really have to start at the bottom again with the rankings. At the minute, we're getting into these big tournaments, and it's nice to be a part of them because it's so well run. So if I was to start again, I would have to maybe start in the smaller tournaments, and not that feel that I'm too big for them. I just feel like I don't think I could make that step again, and it takes years. You got to start with a 0 ranking and go to series around Europe. I think it is tough to start again. So I think when Chloe stops, then I will have a really hard decision. I can't say for sure that I will just stop, but I can't also see myself starting again.
Yeah, that's actually also a big decision to make. Another big decision to make is it done with badminton for good? Or, for instance, Dan, your brother, we see him coaching. Chloe, what thought? I know that these thoughts might have been touched at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that I can't say for sure right now. I would hate to walk away from badminton in Ireland because I know that it's a small setup and we need as many people in it as possible that can, keep things going in the right direction. With high performance badminton, it's important that you have people that know what's going on, and I think that Sam, myself, have obviously got invaluable experience with that, and especially in Ireland with such little people that has done international badminton, has been at these big tournaments, sees how world badminton is moving on so fast, and it's getting better and better all the time, and we can't just be satisfied with the level of coaching in Ireland. It needs to be pushed on. And so it would be hard to walk away from badminton, but I can't see myself being like, a full-time coach or being that person that's national coach or anything. Like, I think I would like to maybe be a part of it in some way, but what way, I'm not sure quite yet.
What does your future look like?
Yeah, I would really love to coach. I'd love to definitely help badminton in Ireland, but I also would be open to maybe travelling and coaching and getting some experience in different countries. So yeah, I'll definitely go into coaching. How that looks in the future, I really don't know, whether it be by myself or with another country or with Ireland.
But that's for sure an open door, I hear.
Yeah, it's for sure coaching, but I don't know how or if I'm going to take a break and maybe come back into it. But
no,
if I take that pause from badminton just to get a clear mind and then come back in, I think that's also a possibility. I would like to help. We've built something in Ireland, and I would really be sad if that faded away, because it took a long time to build a centre, and it would be nice if that could continue to develop talents and keep Ireland in the map. I do think it will be sad when me and Chloe finish, because then Ireland won't be part of these big tournaments anymore, which is something that people maybe take for granted. But it is nice every time you come to these big tournaments and you see the Irish flag. It is part of it, and I'm proud that we have managed to do that.
Does it actually mean something to represent your country also, not only at the big multi-sport event or European Championships?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you come from a country as small as Ireland, and sport in Ireland is especially badminton, it's very, very small. So you're always, fighting all the time to make sure that you've got funding for enough tournaments and, funding for your coach. And as I said, trying to bring in sparring partners. So when you do, you spend a lot of time trying to get everything right. And then when you are part of these big tournaments, you're, on the world stage competing against these pairs that are the best in the world. I do think that's a huge achievement, and I'm always proud when I see the Irish flag, whether it be at the small tournaments, the big tournaments, the World Championships, winning medals. It's huge, and I think for any kid representing their country, it's always special, and it's never left me for the amount of years that I've played.
Do you feel that you've been inspiring people, Sam?
That I don't know, but I hope we have. I hope some of the younger players will see what we've done. I think the most important thing, me and Chloe didn't have it when we were younger. We didn't have anyone to look up to. There was no professionals. I think Scott was the first. He kind of led the way. And so I think it's important that you can see, before that there wasn't even a chance. I wasn't even thinking about a professional career in badminton when I was playing, because there was no one there. You didn't see it. So I really hope the young players in Ireland can see something and say, okay, this is worth a chance. It's always hard because, in Europe we're so focused on education and getting a job. You really have to make extremely hard decisions. You've got to be professional from young and hope your study can fit around it. It can't be your study first and then badminton. And I think that it's hard for young people. So I hope they can see that it can be done. And to compete with world badminton, that's what they have to do. And hopefully, I hope some of them take those big decisions and really go and hopefully push Ireland on to the next level. I hope people can, do better than me and Chloe. That would be nice to see. And I hope that Ireland just keeps developing.
Chloe, does it make you more calm? We've seen Nat and Gwen doing great on the youth. We have also seen him taking good steps in late 2019, actually also in early 19. Does it make you more calm when we talk about your guys, your retirement, your guys' retirement, that you can actually see there is one who's ready to take the spot from you guys now? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I think Nat's a huge talent, and he was able to come into a centre where he had players to play against. I think that was so important at the young age that he developed quite quick. And would that centre not have been in Ireland, would he have gone on to do what he'd done? I don't know. So it was so good that, we had these things in place for such a great talent like him coming through. And as you said, he's done so much at a young age, and, it's obviously he needs to keep pushing forward. And it's going to be tough to make that next level, but it is nice that we have something exciting, when Sam and myself decide to stop, that we can still watch badminton internationally and know that Ireland is going to be a huge part of it. And I think Nat's got a brilliant career ahead of him if he can keep focused and keep working hard, which I know he does every day. It's going to be exciting to see how far he can go, and it's nice that he's going to do that, and that Ireland will still be very much a part of the international scene when Sam and myself stop. And we've still got a lot of younger talents below that again that. If they can be developed right and the right coach comes in and takes them in the right direction, I really believe that Ireland's got a good batch of juniors coming through, and it's just a matter of someone that can really take them to the next level, that can lead them in the right direction. And I think Ireland will be better in the future, with this experience that we have. And I really believe that Nat and some of the ones below him can really make it to the international stage in badminton.
Nobody believes, Sam, that Ireland could win a European Championship medal. You guys did it. You did it at the multi-sport event as well, at the European Games. The World Championship medal. That's the next one for your nation to aim at. I'm not asking you if, because I know you will say yes, but more like, not like when and like what year, but for how long do we need to wait to see that happening, you think?
I think it's such a big step from European towards, you've got all these Asian countries that put their lives and discipline and their government support them so well into badminton. I can't say if Ireland will ever do it. At the minute, if you ask me, I would probably say no. But if we get the right system in and you have people, with Nat's talent and they get the right setup, I would like to think they can have a chance. I think it's extremely hard. But if Ireland ever produced a world medal, I think I'll be the first person to shake the person's hand that does it, because that would be an incredible feat.
So the future is bright for Irish Badminton Club.
Yeah.
Also without you guys.
Yeah, I think it's bright. I mean, it's obviously it's about developing the right culture. It's about the kids coming in and seeing that you have to, the mindset and the work ethic and, even behaving properly in training. And these things are so important. And everyone that's coming into training now has that. And they have the want to be better. They can see that the results, have to be better, that if they want to get funding, the results have to be better. And I think, not that I'm taking credit for it, but Sam and myself have created a culture that, you can't come in and just mess around, and you can't come in and just, give 50%. And that, I think, is the biggest reason why that we have come as far as we have come. And, if they're training right and, giving 100% every day, then there's no reason why the results won't come. So I think that is the most important thing for Ireland, is that we developed a culture that, we are good enough to go and win on the European level. We are good enough to go and win medals. Like, there's no reason why we can't. And that's so important. It's so important that everyone that comes into the centre, whether you've got talent or not, that you can really, give 100% every day, that you have the same mindset that you're in and you're working hard, and there's nobody that's, causing problems. And that's why, Nat has come through, the younger ones can come through. They're coming into training now every so often, the younger guys again, and they're getting to see this. They're getting to see how to train. And I think that's so important, that even before Sam and myself stopped, that, these guys are there, they've seen it. They've seen how we come in, we've seen how we train, they've seen, what it is to be a top international badminton player. And as Sam also said, that we didn't have that when we were younger, and maybe it took us a lot more years than other European players to see, what is expected of you as a top player. But they have that, and I think if the culture's right and the mentality's right and these guys keep pushing forward, I don't think there's any reason why Ireland can't compete with the other nations in Europe. And, we've shown it with some of the juniors already.
Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, you spent quite some time in Denmark as a young guy, where you of course also learned something. We don't see Irish players doing that currently. Is that a mistake that they don't do what you did? We see when I see where you are now, of course something paid off. But of course that will destroy something in the culture back home in Ireland. What is the right choice?
I think like you said, I was in Denmark. I was really blessed. I was in Ghent after, and I was being coached by Jim Lagerson. But there was also Thomas Stangard there and Jesper Larsson, and I actually learned a lot how to train, how to play. Those guys were at the top of the world, and they didn't accept any messing, So I really learned a lot there. I think for Ireland now, we need a balance. We need to have our own centre, but we need to also go out. Me and Chloe, when we go to Malaysia, we work with the Malaysian guys. We learn more stuff, and we bring that back. So I also think it's important for the players to go outside, sometimes get ideas, go to different centres, different places, and bring it back. I think if we don't keep a centre, I think it's very hard to push the juniors up. And I think we're always going to be limited in numbers. We're never going to have 40 players. You know, we might have 10 players training, 6 really pushing. I think the important thing is that it's a good training group. They keep pushing the training, and then of course they have to go outside to get ideas. You know, once you reach the ceiling, you need somewhere else to go. So I think for Nat to, at his level's the best, then he needs to go somewhere, do his own thing, and then come back, do training. So I think that's the way forward.
It's exciting to see what's happening moving forward, not only for Irish Badminton, but also for you guys. And Chloe, I don't think you should retire anytime soon. I think that we would. I'm not the only one who would like to see you play more than just the Tokyo Games, and hopefully also at the Tokyo Games. Guys, thank you for stopping by. Always a pleasure. And thank you for watching this BEC podcast. Following on the platforms, you can also go find these two on social media, I'm sure. At least on Instagram, I know at least you, Chloe. But thank you for stopping by BEC and watching our podcast.
Thank you.